Most people have this this view of NATO from the Cold War era, of where NATO and the Warsaw Pact countries were, the dividing line between communism and the West. But I think people even then saw NATO as the champion of democracy, and we saw that in action once the Berlin Wall fell. That NATO was the platform, if you will, for the Eastern European countries for democratization and for the reform of their important institutions. Mike Turner, I'm a congressman from the 3rd District of Ohio. I'm the chair of the U.S. delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. The NATO Parliamentary Assembly is really a forum where parliamentarians from the countries who are NATO allies can come together and take up the issues that are important both to the transatlantic alliance, NATO itself, NATO operations and issues, and also discuss to some extent the internal political issues that are affecting the NATO allies individually. Without NATO, you don't have both the infrastructure or the format for dialogue and discussion and decision making. The voice of the United States, the political will of the United States in calling Europe to look into its own backyard to affect peace, resulting in the Dayton Peace Accords, named after my hometown, Dayton, Ohio, I think is an excellent example of NATO working both politically and also militarily. When we look at Afghanistan, the Article 5 guarantee of the nations coming to the aid of other nations if they are under attack, that has only been invoked once, and it was on the behalf of the United States as a result of the attacks that we suffered on 9/11 in New York and in Washington, D.C. And so I think a reflection on Afghanistan certainly shows that the alliance worked, that the alliance did come together, and now, obviously, with the issue of Afghanistan and the sustained commitment that both NATO and the United States have made, there needs to be a review as to what are we going to do in the future to make certain that our efforts in Afghanistan result in a country that is stable and represents no security threat to NATO or the United States. I think NATO, to me personally, represents the hope that democracy will continue to spread in a way that is sustainable and stable, and that NATO has an opportunity through its tools of assistance to aid countries that are making that march to democracy. And certainly that results in, I believe, a greater peace and a sustainable peace.